Hey, 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 playmakers. In sports, the playmaker is the one on the field who shifts the momentum of the game. They see the whole field or court. They are trying to make sure that they understand what to pass, where to play, who got next, what to do to ensure that everyone reaches their ultimate goal of getting the W in the game. But in life and leadership, a playmaker is not so different. They are the ones who cast the bold vision, who set the plans in action, who kind of tend to everybody in the playing field to make sure that they're okay. But they break old rules. They are risk takers. They lead from alignment, not ambition. If that sounds like you, you're in the right place. Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever said, I'll slow down when everything is finished? Or I can't slow down because I might lose everything. No one moves like me. I can't trust this with anybody else. Or I'll rest after the next launch, next quarter, or the next game after these playoffs if you're an athlete. Yeah, me too. That's how high achievers move, is how we're trained to think. But the truth, that's not excellence. That's exhaustion with nice branding. I'm Tiffany Yvonne. I'm a life and leadership coach. I'm the founder of Playmaker Solutions. I'm a culture strategist, a speaker, a mama on the move. And I'm the host of the Tiffany Yvonne Show, where I help busy, ambitious leaders, high achievers, whether they're executives, elite athletes, or entrepreneurs, win at work, succeed at home, and design lives they absolutely love, lives that look as good as they feel. I'm also the creator of the Supermodel Framework, and it is the framework that underpins all of my work. It is baked in emotional intelligence and truly is the differentiator from me and every other coach that's going to tell you to look at things from a tactical perspective, look at the next thing that you can get done. Really having high emotional intelligence is the differentiator in my brand. The super framework helps to get us there in a way that is relatable, makes sense to everyday people without having to go into all of the jargon of what emotional intelligence really is. So the U in super is an acronym, and the U stands for unlearning, right? So what do we need to unlearn in order to reach the goals that we say we want? Oftentimes, as busy, ambitious, high achievers, we're thinking about piling more on. This is about unlearning. And so, if you caught the episode I did around unlearning, it's very wild because the universe will always make you prove what you teach. And so, one of the things that I'm constantly unlearning is perfectionism. And that episode was definitely perfectly imperfect. I was racing against the deadline. I had a wild day with my family, my parenting. Was being tested, and I needed to like reset myself, but I was committed to getting that out. And so at the gist of it, unlearning is really how can we let go of the mindsets, beliefs, and actions that tend to hold us back, and so that we can step fully into designing a life that we love. It's definitely easier said than done because unlearning requires that you be courageous. It requires that you shed expectations that others have of you. It requires that you set boundaries that might piss people off whom you care about or who you want to approve of what you do. It requires letting go of finances sometimes. It requires trusting that what's meant for you will not miss you. And so today I am doing something differently on this show. I am unlearning that my YouTube channel needs to look and feel like my keynotes. Perfectly polished, absolutely memorized, hitting every line on key, knowing when to throw in my jokes, knowing when to ask for audience participation. This is my channel. I get to show up like big hair, don't care. Even when I care, I'm like, ooh, it's this big hair. This hair is big, right? But I get to show up as myself. I cannot sustain a YouTube channel where I have to be made up all the time, where I have to be in regular clothes that aren't sports clothes all the time. I'm a sports mom. I live in sports clothes. I dress up when I go to work. And because I am part of an aggressive experiment right now, building this channel, building the content for this channel, and doing this 3 times a week or 3 shows a week, it is really me learning to unlearn that there has to be any right way to do this. And so I'm just leaning on the fact that whoever's meant to listen will. If you need to speed it up, you'll do so. If you like get to it, you'll find the right spot. But I needed to build this channel around my busy life, a full client load, and real life happening in the background. So today, I'm giving you real, actionable things that I've lived, that my clients are living, and that I'm trusting that it'll land in the way that it needs to. I am, we're just gonna hop right into it. And I'm gonna tell you 20 things that you need to unlearn as a high achiever, no matter what your title is. Because most high achievers, high performers don't need to learn more. You've got the programs down, you've got the degrees, you've got the athletic skills, your calendar is full, your reputation is solid. But what's actually in the way is not another MBA degree, right? It's the mindsets, behaviors, or beliefs and actions that are not serving us that tend to hold us back. So here's what I'm doing differently today. Instead of breaking down just one mindset, I'm giving you 20 things every high achieving leader in their own life needs to unlearn, and what opens up when you finally do, like how it is actually a win for you. What you're resisting is actually a win for you. And I'm going to use my notes so that I can make sure I hit all of them on the head. You'll also get my amazing storytelling acumen in between some of these things. I believe in telling you what I'm going to do, doing the thing, and then telling you what I did. And so let's get into it. The first one is rest is a reward. Rest has to be earned. When you unlearn it, you recognize that rest is a strategy, that burnout is not a badge of honor. And even if it's rewarded with money or accolades, it doesn't have to be true for you. Rest is not a reward. And you actually get to move with peace and joy and feel good. Feel good while you're working. Number 2, if I don't do it, it won't get done right. This one was so telling for me. I could do it better, faster, quicker. The problem with unlearning this is that it's true. Most often, humble brag, I can do it better, faster, quicker than most people. Most people on my team, most people in my family, most people that surround me, right? And a therapist once told me that's the quickest ticket to the local mental health facility. And I had to really lean into that and say, the only gift you get for doing it all is that people let you. Let me say that again. The only gift you get for doing it all is that people let you. If you think you can do it better, quicker, faster than everyone, who is going to hop in? Who's going to come and save you from yourself and say, oh no, let me help with that? They like, you got it? Good, you got it. So what do you win when you let that go? You win your time back. You win some peace. You win the ability to let go of a control fallacy, really, that everything is going to be better just because you did it. You get to not pour from an empty cup. You get to serve you first, right? So it doesn't matter if it won't get done right unless you do it. First of all, that's a lie, it's a limiting belief. But also, even if it was true, it doesn't serve you, and it is the road to burnout. If you are a leader and you are operate at a corporation or even within your own organization and you are operating in this, you're also robbing other people of their ability to grow. A leader's most important role is not the same as an individual contributor. It's not how many tasks you can do. It's how much you can get done through and with other people. So if you are a leader and doing it all, if you are a leader and you're hopping in to put out every fire, to save everything, to make your team look perfect, you are robbing yourself of peace and joy, because no one's coming to do your work when you're done with all of that. And you're also robbing them of the opportunity to be empowered to step into their next level of leadership. Just don't do it. Next one. No one moves like I move. It's a lie you telling yourself in order to stay in control. You don't need a clone. That's a martyr complex in disguise. That's ego. You don't need them to move like you move. I never want people to, even my coaching clients, I don't want them to be just like me. We all use the super framework to move through whatever we're facing, but I don't need them to be like me. I need them to be the best version of themselves. And so that's what you win when you let that one go. Grind now, shine later. Well-oiled machines don't grind. That's that on that. It's glorified. Grind culture has been glorified. Then it was, people were horrified by what they got when they operated within that. And so, yeah, the well-oiled machines don't grind. When you unlearn it, you get to recognize that joy is not a reward, it's a resource. It fills you up. It gives you the energy to hop back into that hard thing and keep going. But you've got to schedule in your joy, schedule in your play, schedule in the things that matter most to you, just like you schedule in every money-making thing, just like you schedule in every hustle and grind thing. You have to schedule in those opportunities for play and joy with yourself and make it non-negotiable in your calendar the same way you would with any other MVP. Next one is lonely at the top. Is it? Is it? Or is that just a story that you're telling yourself so that you can stay stuck in the messy middle? Is that just a story you're telling yourself because you're operating out of scarcity and you want to hold on to everything like me? If I let somebody else in, if I collaborate with someone else, they might steal what I have. It's lonely at the top is a mindset based in scarcity. When you unlearn it, you get to recognize that you don't have to build in isolation, that collaboration is actually king, not content, maybe connection, but like connection and collaboration are king and queen, and community is a strategy. Next one. I got to work twice as hard to get half as far. This might as well be I'm not going to use the reference because I don't want to get judged. I'm learning to not care about people judging me too, but you got to work twice as hard to get half as far. I'm not going to say that that's not real for some people. I'm not going to say that racism doesn't exist in the world and that systems aren't set up so that we, people of color, women, feel like they have to work twice as hard to get half as far. But what I am going to say is my own life and my clients' lives, my clients' lives are pure testaments to the fact that we do not have to work twice as hard to get half as far. And when we embodied that belief, guess what happened? We worked twice as hard to get half as far. But when we dismiss that belief as the fake news that it is, we got to sometimes work half the amount of time to get twice as far. Success loves speed. And when you shift your mind, when you shift your mindset from that to success loves speed and I'm here for it, or what I want wants me back, or what I desire is coming to me, or what's meant for me won't miss me. When you unlearn that, you recognize that that's not a mission, that's a trauma response, right? So let it go. I don't need a break. I can just push through. I just did a video where the theme song was Push It to the Limit by Rick Ross. And I mean, the beat on that is hitting. The idea of pushing yourself to the limit is, what people who have been very successful talk about. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, right? Pushing it to the limit. But I can't help but to wonder if Kobe knew that if he had known his end date, would he have still spent all that time in the gym, all that time away from his family, all that time pushing it to the limit, right? Everything in life that we do costs us and serves us, right? So he had goals and dreams around basketball, and he did that. For us fans, it was an absolute win that he pushed it to the limit. But to walk into retirement and to finally be spending quality time with your family in ways that you have not, and to have your life gone in the blink of an eye is wild as hell. So unlearning, I don't need a break, I can just push through, is major key. When you unlearn it, your nervous system literally calms down, right? Period. Next one, a favorite. Success equals sacrifice. Yes, there are some modes of discipline required in order to reach this level of success that you desire. It doesn't happen by magic. If everybody could do it, everybody would be successful, all the things. So there is some level of sacrifice that is required. But self-sacrifice is very different. Self-sacrifice is when you are allowing your definition of success to create an environment where your financial success is more important than your physical health. I've seen so many people turn a 7-figure business and gain 170 pounds in the process, right? Like the Bible says, what is it? Something to the effect of like, what does it gain a man to what is it? How does it benefit a man to gain the whole world and lose their soul? Like, what does it gain you to make a 7-figure business at the cost of your heart, at the cost of your limbs, at the cost of your blood pressure, at the cost of becoming diabetic? Like, what is it? How does it serve you? And this doesn't have to be about weight, right? This could just my own story, my own battle with being diagnosed with breast cancer. When I run, I eat kale, right? I'd see like it's not in my family. There's no reason. There's no reason. I had every piece of blood work, every naturopathic doctor across not every naturopathic doctor across the nation, but multiple naturopathic doctors across the nation could not find a source. And I am convinced that my cancer was stress induced because I was holding on too tightly to my definition of what success looked like from a family perspective, of what success looked like from a business perspective. And it just had to be my way. Stress settles in your cells. My favorite book. One of my favorite books, The Body Keeps Score. So success does not have to equal sacrifice, at least not self-sacrifice, because some sacrifices aren't sacred, they are self-abandonment. And so you have to pick, intentionally design what sacrifices you're willing to make and to boldly draw a boundary on the sacrifices that you're not willing to make. I just have high standards. Now, some people will be on my trail like, I do just have high standards. I'm not a perfectionist. I just have high standards. Great. For you and every other person with high standards. And I told y'all, perfectionism is the thing that I battle most. Done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. What do you gain when you unlearn it? You gain back time, you gain back peace, you gain back the opportunity to have learning lessons. You gain back not pushing it to the limit where you're turning something in at the nth hour or turning something in late because you just kept guessing and second guessing and third guessing and fourth guessing. Many of you all know I'm a published author. I wrote a children's book many years ago. I have another book that is around this, around mindset shifts and how we can play to win in life and business, that is currently being edited. But beyond those, I have about a series of about 10 ebooks that got pure fire in them, about 5 or 6 courses about building a business, about what it takes, about the steps, about not just building a business that looks good on the outside but is raggedy on the inside, that tons of people could benefit from, that are living in the archives of my computer because I wouldn't put it out because I just have high standards, right? When you unlearn it, you recognize that it is perfectionism, and that perfectionism is really fear dressed in designer clothes. Let me say that again. Perfectionism is fear dressed in designer clothes. It's all dressed up and going nowhere. Now, if you're a perfectionist, you might be like, no, my stuff be popping and my stuff be tight and my stuff be right. And can't nobody say nothing to me about whatever the stories are we tell ourselves. The truth is, you have done something and you have worked yourself to the bone before, and someone still came and complained about how it was done. Someone still came and gave feedback. Someone still came and wanted to change things. And when they did, your blood was boiling because you have worked yourself to the bone trying to make it so perfect, right? Allow yourself space to be critiqued. Allow yourself space to receive feedback. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. Let me repeat that. Feedback is the breakfast, lunch, and dinner of champions. That is how the good become great and the great become extraordinary. Understanding different people's perspectives and not having to know it all also takes an immense amount of pressure off of you. All right, the next one. I can't stop now. I'll lose momentum. To all my hamster wheel runners, to all my autopilot marathoners, right? For all of those who refuse to pause. All I can tell you is when you don't make time for wellness, and wellness is rest, and wellness is a pause. When you don't make time for wellness, you will be forced to make time for illness, to tend to illness, right? Pausing doesn't stop progress. It protects it. That is what you gain. That is what you gain when you unlearn. I can't stop now. That the pause protects your progress. It gives you the energy, the fuel, the stamina, the morale, the motivation, the joy to keep going through the messy middle. The pause, there's so much power in the pause. All right. No one gets me. In my Tupac voice, it's just me against the world. Might as well be the theme song for that one. No one gets me. And so what do? You isolate, you don't ideate, you don't collaborate because no one gets me. It's a sob story. It's a pity party. When people reject you, when people don't roll behind your idea, it is an opportunity to just recognize that those aren't your people. That's it. Every no is not a no forever. It's a not now or not them. So how do you unlearn it? What is the benefit of unlearning it? When you let people in, you win. None of us is an island. No man is an island. No one does everything alone. Even those who are like, I'm self-made, I did it all by myself, had to buy something from somewhere that was made by somebody that wasn't them. Everybody needs support, and asking for support and help, collaborating, and staying in community is a superpower, not a weakness. Next one. I'm the strong one. Oh my goodness. Being the strong one will kill you, literally kill you. I don't have the luxury of falling apart because I'm the strong one. I'm the one that everybody comes to. And now you might be like, that's not a lie, though, Tiffany. That's not a lie because that's actually how it is in my family. Everything is not going to fall apart if you fall apart. Strong people need to say they're not okay. That's how you have people like, I forgot the name of that dude, the dancer from the Ellen show, who was dancing, doing all of this stuff, always had a smile. The DJ, he was a DJ on the Ellen DeGeneres show. On the outside, he looked like he was winning, but on the inside, it didn't feel like he was winning. In my TED talk, I say those exact words about myself. On the outside, it looked like I was winning. I was well paid, well traveled, well accomplished, checking boxes. And on the inside, I was well miserable. And I was guilty. I felt guilty for feeling miserable because I had a life that others envied. The strong one gets to fall apart. The strong one gets to say they need help. When you unlearn it, you recognize that you don't have to break in silence to prove that you're strong. Let your cry for help be as loud as your I got you, I can help you, I can save you. Oftentimes, when you're playing Captain Saver, it's because you wished someone would come and save you. And so we give away all those things we wish we had and end up resentful when the people who we give it to don't use it how we would have, don't show gratitude, don't do the things that they ask for help getting done. They quit in the middle. And that's because we're out here playing Jesus Jr. and trying to save people when it is everyone's job to save themselves. And sometimes, in fact, it is easier to save other people than it is to look inward, work through your own issues, and save yourself. So, as a strong one, you not only have permission to fall apart, you also have permission to stop being the strong one and just see how everyone reacts. I will tell you personally, as the go-to person in my family I really prided myself on being the fixer. When Olivia Pope was out, whatever that show was called, Scandal, and when How to Get Away with Murder and Viola Davis were on, they were the biggest watched shows on NBC, right? The most watched shows on NBC. But why is it that the most watched shows on NBC were two Black women who were full of self-abandonment, full of self-betrayal, and in service to everyone else? And that is what was portrayed as heroic. And that is what I even believed was heroic. I mean, but if you look at it deeply, Olivia's friends was all turned against her. She was having to take sloppy seconds or choosing sloppy seconds from somebody else's husband. She had a drinking problem. There was nothing about that to be celebrated, right? Being the strong one, fake news. Let it go. The next one. I'll rest after I hit my goal. We don't exist to wait for Friday, to wait for vacay, to wait for 5 p.m. Rest is a success strategy. You're going to hear me talking about that all up and through here. I have a book up here called The Rest Revolution. I have a book up here called The Nap Ministry. I have a friend who just delivered a powerful TEDx talk about the power of rest. And we're talking about it because we tend to still treat it like it is a reward after all of the busy work is done. The same way we treat play. Rest is not something to be done after all the busy work is done. Rest allows you to be equipped to do all of the busy, hard, strategic work in excellence, in real excellence. When you unlearn it, you recognize that you won't get well if you burn out on the way. You won't get well and you won't get wealthy if you burn out on the way. The next one, I don't want to be seen as soft. Oh, feelings. When I am working in corporate spaces, because they tend to be the most uptight of all of the spaces that I work in. Entrepreneurs are a little more laxed. Elite athletes are a little bit more laxed. When I'm working with busy, ambitious executives, leaders, and their teams, that is where I see most the idea that emotions mean you're soft, that feelings don't belong at work. Leave your home self at home, bring your work self in here, hang your emotions at the door. The pandemic created a space in unimaginable ways to show us that our home and our work lives collide, that our home and our work lives collided in such a way that our tables became our desk, that our, you know, y'all know what it did. Work from home showed us that our work life and our home life was not at all separate. And uh, because of that, there was never a time when we could really leave our feelings at the door, right? If you came to work, or if you show up at work, whether it's in your own business, a corporate organization where you're responsible for leading others, or you're an elite athlete on the court or the floor, or the court or the field, if your parent or child was sick, you still felt it. If you happen to have more month than money, you still feel it. And if you are just in a bad headspace, had a bad breakup, or any other thing that affects your emotions, you still feel it. And it impacts your work, whether or not you're willing to admit it. The superpower is in understanding that all emotions were given to us by God, number one. We're allowed to feel a full range of emotions. And our work as leaders in any terrain is to figure out how to handle those emotions, what to do with those emotions, both for ourselves and our team members. Again, no man is an island. So no matter which terrain you work in, you're going to have to interact with other people. And guess what? They also have feelings. So learning to be self-aware about your emotions and socially aware about other people's emotions helps you know how to navigate that terrain with more ease. Avoiding them does nothing. Avoiding emotions is literally like sitting a cup of milk behind the couch. You don't see it, but sooner or later, you smell it, right? There's no hiding from emotions. They are real, and the idea that they're seen as soft or a weakness is absolutely fake news. Emotional intelligence is what my entire company is built upon. When you unlearn that emotions are soft, you get to recognize that emotional intelligence is your edge, is how you reach excellence with ease. It is indeed a competitive and strategic advantage in every field. Next one, I have to be the example. This might be a God complex, right? Who said you have to be the example? Who said you have to carry it all on your back? Who said? It is a self-imposed stress that is unnecessary. When you unlearn it, you recognize that the best example is wholeness, not worry, not overwhelm. The best example is wholeness. At my grandmother's funeral, I remember speaking about all of the things that she taught me. I also spoke about the things that I knew not to do, what she taught me not to do. Not because she told me not to do it, but because I saw her rushing and worrying and working and solving and fixing for everybody else. And yet, in her last days, months, etc., very few people showed up. And so her life was not only an example to me of what to do, but also what not to do, so that I could protect and direct, design a life that I actually love. This fixer mode that we're in when we believe we have to be the example, we have to be the strong one, we have to be the fixer, it does not serve us. So when you unlearn that, you recognize the best example is wholeness. Next one. I don't have time for this mindset stuff. Baby, I'm an accountant by trade. I'm a CPA by trade. It gets no more black and white dollars and cents than how I was, I don't want to say raised, but trained to be. It gets no more of that. If you would have told me when I was sitting for the CPA exam that one day I would be a life coach, a leadership coach, a speaker, maybe I could have bought the speaker thing because I talked a lot, but I would have thought that I would be talking about money. My theme song may as well have been, if it ain't about the money. So I really thought this mindset stuff, meditating, journaling, somebody's going to read that. I'm going to lose it. Someone's going to know all my inner thoughts. This mindset stuff I thought was for the birds. But mindset is not fluff. When you unlearn the idea that I don't have time for this mindset stuff, you recognize that mindset is not fluff, it's the foundation. When you recognize that shifting from I don't have time for this mindset stuff to mindset is not fluff, it's the foundation, everything changes. You want to make more money? Work on your mindset. You want to lose some weight? Work on your mindset. You want to reach your goals with more ease? Work on your mindset. We chase income. Income, though, comes from the inside. I heard someone say that income comes from the inside. And I thought they were just going to talk about mindset and, woo-woo things. But no, they said income comes from the inside. What you are putting in, what is incoming, right? What you're putting in your mind, what you're putting in your body, what you're putting in your thoughts, what you're putting in your actions. All of those things produce the outcome. So the money we earn really should be called outcome because it's based on our labor. It's based on the work that we put in. But your mindset rules everything. Mindset truly is the foundation and not fluff. And when you unlearn, I don't have time for it, you really start to thrive. I got two more, and I don't know if I'm off by a number or what's going on, but I do know that I've been talking for a mighty long time, 37 minutes, the longest YouTube video I got to date. So maybe this model is going to work for me. Maybe, let's see. I'm fine. I might not even do another one after that. I talk about this in my TED Talk too. I'm fine. Someone asks you how you're doing and you say, I'm fine. People know when they ask me how I'm doing, it might be 2 seconds or it might be 20 minutes because I'm going to tell you the truth. But in America, this is how it goes. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? You can say it to a room full of people. The expectation is that you answer by saying, I'm fine. So much so that people don't even wait for the answer. I expect you to say you okay. You say you okay. You might even ask me back, how am I doing? You don't wait for the answer either. I'm fine is the biggest lie. It's a lie we use to avoid the truth. It's not even describing how we're doing. It's just on repeat, a record, the polite thing, the thing that doesn't make you seem weak. Really, it's the thing that's avoiding vulnerability, avoiding courageousness, avoiding being brave, avoiding taking the risk of telling somebody how you really are. And the worst is the people who are passive aggressive, right? And they say, fine, and they expect you to read underneath, in between or underneath the lines, right? You deserve better than fine. You deserve a life you absolutely love. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be seen. You deserve support. And when you stop saying, I'm fine, that is the reward you get. That the people who are meant to hear will listen and lean in. That the people who judge don't even matter. You recognize that those who mind you sharing how you really are, those who mind don't matter, and those that matter, they won't mind. It's really that real. Those that mind don't matter, and those that matter will not mind if you tell them the truth. The last one, if I slow down, I'll lose everything. Now, we talked about the power to pause earlier, but the idea that you'll lose everything, I'll lose everything. It could be if I slow down or if I start over. That's what keeps people from switching jobs that they don't like, starting a new or different business idea. I am often shaking in my boots when I make a shift. But if you know me, you know that I'm on like my fourth, fifth life by now. I have lived many lives. And of all the lives I've lived, this one is my favorite. That's one of my girls' books. That's the title of her book. Of all the lives I've lived, this one is my favorite because this one is by design, not by default. This one, I'm calling myself to the edge to take the jump, to make the leap time and time again. This one, I'm showing up on YouTube with big hair, don't care, with gym clothes on because that's what I wore today. Experimenting, figuring out what lands, figuring out what I like, and inviting those who are willing to listen to pick up what I'm putting down if it resonates with you. And if you pass it by, it's okay because I know what's meant for me won't miss me. And that is the same with you. What's meant for you won't miss you. So if you pass it by, it wasn't meant for your ears. Either way it goes, I am about to bring this one to a close. The theme song for today is You Won't Break My Soul. You Won't Break My Soul. When Beyoncé came out with that, it was a banger because that grind culture, that pressure to prove, that constant striving just to survive, that's not living. That's not success. I am Tiffany Yvonne. I help high achievers design success so that they can win at work, succeed at home, and win within. That's the real tea. This episode is your permission slip to let go of the lies, to let go of the limiting beliefs, to let go of ego, exhaustion, because it could literally break your soul. But we're not going for that. Here's your next playmaker move. Choose one belief on the list that hit a little bit too close to home. Write it down and then ask yourself, what would it feel like to lead without this belief? Who might I be without my perfectionist self? Who might I be without my fixer self? Who might I be without my always on the go, on the hamster wheel self? What could be possible if I stopped doing those things, if I unlearned them, if I let them go? Now, I'm not saying that unlearning is easy. That's why most of us stay stuck in those patterns. But what I am saying is that unlearning is oh so worth it. So take one small step, unlearn one thing this week. And it's not a one-time thing. It is literally a way of life. The entire supermodel, but especially the unlearning part, is something that can be repeated over and over and over again. It's my mission, but it's not just a moment. It is a movement. It is a way of life. So tell a friend to pop in this video, skim to the middle, catch a shift or two that you're willing to take. And until next time, peace, love, and most importantly, play. If you are looking for a speaker for your next event that brings real talk, real life experiences, storytelling, and strategy, soul, and something that you will remember long after the session, remember your girl. I'm Tiffy Yvonne, speaker, culture shifter, emotional intelligence strategist, and mama on the move. Until next time, peace, love, and most importantly, play. I'll see y'all later.